The biggest things we wish we knew when we very first started out. We definitely both did this.
Yeah, we were both guilty of this.
What's the problem, Krystal, with training obviously so much?
It just damages your body, it slows your metabolism down, it chews into muscle versus fat stores, creates unhealthy, unrealistic. It's not good for you.
The less muscle you have as well, the lower your metabolism is. I remember looking at like guys in fitness magazines, because that's how old I am, and being like, why are they so much leaner than me? I'm training so much more than them.
But the point is, in order to get there, you have to like be in a surplus to gain that muscle, to be at that physique level, to then do that.
And the answer is the biggest things we wish we knew when we very first started out. I think I was like 13 and Krystal was 12.
12. I don't even remember. It was that long ago.
Maybe about 13 as well. We were like quite young when we started.
Yeah, I just remember I had to get like my parents to like sign.
I did the same as well. I wasn't allowed to go to the gym. I remember I think I was 12 when I was like, they're like, nah, you can't come until you're 13.
Yeah.
Anyway, we started very young. But here are the things we wish we knew before we started. Number one is overtraining and under-eating. So we definitely both did this.
Yeah, we were both guilty of this.
We'd starve ourselves and then we'd train twice a day. I remember I'd basically like do a 2-hour workout in the gym and then go for like an hour run.
Yeah.
I think you did the same thing as well.
Yeah, I remember I would do like a Muay Thai class in the morning, which went for like an hour, and then I would go train weights. That was my morning before school, and then after, when I finished school, I would do a big like jog around like the beach path and that was most days.
Pretty much every day.
Yeah.
I think I was very similar as well. We
and
definitely...
like food wise, I remember I would do all of that on an empty stomach. And I would come back and I'd have a protein shake with like an apple. That was like my breakfast. My snack, I would have some like almonds or something like that. My lunch was like a tuna and crackers, and then I'd have another afternoon snack, which would just be like a protein shake and a piece of fruit or some nuts again. And then dinner was just whatever I could have. Like my parents, obviously I was quite young, so they obviously cooked my dinner for me and that. So, and I remember I'd always kind of make ways in that I could make it like smaller or like...
It's always about reduction as well.
Yeah.
What's the problem, Krystal, with training obviously so much, like twice a day, 15 workouts a week, and then eating very little? Like, what does that do?
Yeah, well, it just damages your body, it slows your metabolism down, it chews into muscle versus fat stores, and like, you know, it creates unhealthy, unrealistic eating patterns, training behaviours, and it's just unsustainable. It's not good for you, and obviously, you know, it leads to injuries and stuff like that. And
I think the less muscle you have as well, the lower your metabolism is. So what we're actually doing by training so much and eating very little is slowing the metabolism down, which makes it harder again to then lose body fat.
100%. I remember thinking like, yes, I'm doing so good, like I'm training so hard and I'm not eating very much, like you know, high protein diet and just under eating. And I just remember feeling like I was doing so good, but I was burnt out, I was tired, and my body wasn't really changing, or if it was, it wasn't changing in the way that I wanted it to.
I remember looking at like guys in fitness magazines, because that's how old I am, being like, why are they so much leaner than me? I'm training so much more than them.
And why do they have so much muscle?
Why are they having so much muscle as well? Like, how are they doing this? And the answer is nutrition.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Focus on energy.
And eating in a surplus to gain that muscle, to then have that
calories
look.
To reduce over time. So that was a big wake up.
So definitely we wish we didn't
train so much.
So much and didn't under-eat as well.
When we're like competing as well, and me and Krystal are obviously like really lean, like we usually do 4 or 5 weight sessions a week, which is still a lot, but like that's obviously like what we do all year round. But me and her are like, our condition work to get to stage lean is just walking for most part. Like it's like you do a little bit of...
I do a lot of cardio, yeah.
Incline and stuff.
But the point is, in order to get there, you have to like be in a surplus to gain that muscle, to be at that physique level, to then do that. There's prep work behind it for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, main kind of moral of the story is like focusing on our nutrition versus training more and more and more and more, which a lot of clients are like, they're like, oh, I'm going to add another workout to my week and it's going to be, I'm going to train 7 days. And it's like, put the attention back into your nutrition And that's going to be way better for your time. Like you're going to get so much more results putting the attention to nutrition versus training more.
Yeah.
I'd much prefer you guys to train 3 days a week and then actually do like meal prep to then have the time dedicated to nutrition versus just training. You'll be better off for that in the long run.
Yeah.
Number two for us is what we wish we definitely didn't do is the all or nothing mentality. So we were really, really bad at this, both of us.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely being super, super strict, like 100%, and then that being so unsustainable and damaging, and then going the complete opposite, and then going no training and eating whatever you want, and just kind of getting stuck between 100%, 0%, 100%, just that all or nothing back and forth.
Yeah.
Like
we both had the same thing as well.
Sure.
We had a little slip up. Like if we had a little slip up, that would lead into like binges, and then would completely like destroy the week, and it was a cycle that just kept going.
Yeah.
So it's making sure like
wherever you're at, making sure it's a level that you can keep for long term, and it not being too strict or too much, too intense for you that you can't keep up with it for long term. Yeah, finding that balance within your training, within your food, and you know, if you do have a meal off plan, it's like awesome, beautiful, enjoy it. Don't beat yourself up about it and tear yourself down. That really, you know, puts you in that restriction
mentality where you'll binge more. So it's like the worse you feel, the worse you get. So it's if you do have a meal that's outside your goals, enjoy yourself, and we just refocus ourselves after.
Yeah, 100%. And I remember if I used to go off track or have a meal out, I'd punish myself so bad, and then I'd go into like more training and like overtraining and that, and I was like, this is not good. Yeah.
So I think that's something to really watch out for as well. Even with me and Krystal when we first started dating, I was so bad. The first year we started dating, I didn't take her out for a date at all.
No.
So it was like, because I had this mentality where it was like, I need to be crazy,
it doesn't fit my meal plan. It's not chicken and rice.
To be lean. Where in reality as well, it doesn't have to be that way, and that wasn't healthy for our relationship, and then just for myself as well. So it's definitely having balance. Like me and you now would go out to lunch or breakfast once every couple of weeks or so.
Yeah.
So it's like an important thing in the relationship. Like FIFO guys and just people in general, like we actually get them to plan when they're going to go out with their partner to socialise with their partner. It should still be a part of your weight loss journey. It's an important part as well.
100%. And a meal out doesn't need to be the end of your journey either.
Yeah. I guess if it's something that's like when you guys go out as well, it doesn't have to be a binge. If you look at it as a bad thing, if you're like, this is naughty, you're going to likely binge hard for that meal out. Whereas if you look at it as like, I'm going out to socialise and have fun, you'll be less aggressive with the meal out as well. So just, being mindful of that as well. Number
3 is random workouts versus tracked and goal-specific workouts. So I definitely know, like, starting out when I was very first training, like, I'd kind of go in there and not really have an idea of what I was doing, and I'd just kind of go in and train whatever I felt like in that moment. And I wasn't tracking, I wasn't, aware of like progression and weight training and things like that. Obviously just, young, new to the gym, didn't have any
You would try and touch every piece of equipment in the gym basically.
Yeah.
This is my workout, the entire gym.
Literally, just like one after the other. And, whereas now it's very goal specific, like we're...
tracking your weights.
You're
going in with a mission basically when you're going to the gym.
Every session of the week is the same, training whatever muscle groups that we're training. It's very, very specific, and tracking the weights to make sure you're progressing. Like, you see results so much more that way versus just kind of like, what do I feel like today? And random workouts, no tracking.
If you're doing the same weight every week as well, you're not going to build muscle.
Yeah.
So you're going to basically be staying exactly the same because you're lifting exactly the same as well.
Yeah, and like you might be maintaining, which is awesome, which is great. If that's your goal, you just want to kind of maintain the physique you have, and you just want to keep moving and, keep using those muscles. But if you want to build and you want to grow and change shape, you have to eat and you have to track your weights and make sure you're progressing. The next one is correct form and intensity versus like sloppy form. This is something that I feel like I've only really just kind of learnt now in the last year of my training. Like, obviously when you're very first starting out, like, form looks so different compared to as you grow and as you learn and have different mentors and stuff that teach you different things, like learning to fail a weight correctly versus just swinging it around and moving every single body part to try and lift that weight more, you know.
I blame all the videos of Arnold Schwarzenegger going like this the whole time.
But I mean, he looks pretty good. So
I feel like just the old school bodybuilders, definitely a lot of injuries coming out because of their form.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's about I guess lifting smarter, not harder, in a way.
I think like for us, one of the best things that we did was like obviously the PT course and just obviously having a PT ourselves.
Yeah,
like when 100%. I was younger, I had a PT with my dad and like learning how to move my body properly because I was doing deadlifts and it was like completely just in my lower back and I thought that was normal. And that's most people, they're like, oh yeah, deadlifts for your lower back.
Yeah.
Not quite the case.
100%.
Like you shouldn't be feeling that.
Yeah. And I think just looking at the muscle group that you're working, like if you're working, if you're trying to do glutes or something like that and you feel it in your lower back or you're predominantly feeling your hamstrings or you're feeling it in your quads, you should not be going up in weight. If you keep going up in weight and you're like, oh my God, I'm lifting so heavy, but your glutes aren't growing, that means you've not actually correctly, correct, you're not using that technique or that form right for that muscle group that you're trying to build. So you might need to take the weight back and realign some activation and stuff in order to actually get that muscle to work. Yep. So it's about having the correct form and technique, not necessarily the weight.
More like mind-muscle connection when you're actually doing the weights as well. So make sure you're 100%. Using the muscle that you want to build.
Yeah. I remember like with my shoulders, like I could never build shoulders. Like I still had shoulders, but every shoulder exercise that I did, I was like, oh my God, my traps, and like my traps would just take over, and I had to learn to like really take the weight back and just isolate the shoulders as best as possible. And then now I feel shoulders every session. But
you had some pretty good traps though. But it wasn't what you wanted though.
It's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
I literally had to stop training all the exercises that activated my traps in order to actually kind of
build yourself back up,
bring my traps down, so lose muscle in my traps so that my shoulders and other areas of my body could actually develop more so that they would take over versus just my traps. Otherwise, I was just building my traps.
Yeah. So moral of the story is, I guess...
Moral of the story is correct form and technique versus sloppy training.
Yeah. Prevent injuries, just obviously build the muscle that you want to develop.
100%.
Versus the other muscles.
Yeah.
It's a lot safer for us as well.
100%.
Next one is food timing around your workout. This is massively important if you want to build muscle, if you want to improve your strength as well. This is something we didn't know for a long time. Do you want to kick us off with this one?
I know, like when we very first started out, like our training, we would eat on an empty stomach.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
And we thought the longer we went without food, like the better, you know.
Doing that, we were basically just losing muscle. So most of the workouts we had, we were not actually building.
Yeah,
we were just like deteriorating the muscle.
100%. And we weren't able to consistently like go up in weights each week and things like that and have progression. And
I think we did that for
energy
years as well.
Years,
back,
yeah. It was just like an old
20s.
belief where it was like faster cardio, train on an empty stomach, things like that. Like it was just
more fat.
Yeah, burn more fat. It was just old methods and things, old beliefs and stuff that, you know, we had in our education and stuff like that. Yeah. So now the amount of difference, like, you know, having a good amount of carbs before your workout, like, you know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour before your session, like it just fills out your muscles and you're strong. You've got that energy to burn in your session. You're going to be lifting heavier and having more energy as well, and that's just adds so much to your session.
Yeah, so if you guys are training obviously with like an empty stomach and you're not having much carbs, your muscles are going to be like half empty, like they're going to be deflated. They're not going to perform the same.
They're not going to recover the same as well.
Not going to recover the same as well. So you're going to lose out with strength and the potential of building muscle as well.
It's like losing out on that 1%, you know?
Yeah, so definitely prioritising pre-workout carbs, post-workout carbs, and then just hitting your level of protein that you need to get as well to build the muscle. Game changer for us especially.
Yeah.
Next one is tracking food and specifically calories. Okay, I think for like so many years when we were younger, we were just like throwing spaghetti at the wall, as in like we just didn't know what the hell we were doing, as in like we were just guessing what's coming into our system. If you're not in a consistent deficit to lose body fat, you're not going to lose body fat. If you're not in a consistent surplus to build muscle, you're not going to build muscle. So I think that was something like for us, if a client wants results fast, we want to track so we know actually what's going on. Otherwise, it's just a guessing game, which is a waste of time. Like, you're not going to have the same benefit. When did you start tracking?
Gosh, I don't even remember. I don't know. I remember I think I started with like a diary thing or something, and then I ended up just going to MyFitnessPal. But I think the biggest thing for me is if I'm not tracking, like I'm under eating. Like I have a big background of under eating, and then
I'm the opposite. If I'm not tracking, I'm eating way too much. Like I can eat a lot of food.
Yeah, well, I can quite easily go without eating and just feel fine, you know. So I have to track, otherwise I'm going to be under eating and I'm going to be losing muscle and I'm going to be unhappy.
Yeah, I would say as well, like when we started competing and stuff as well, we put so much more muscle on through the years of obviously competition just because we're tracking.
100%.
Like the change in body composition and muscle is just like, it's crazy how much more you can build when you're actually tracking your calories.
Yeah, and the goal that I was after, the actions that I were doing was what I thought was working towards that goal, but it wasn't actually until I started competing that I became aware of shit, what I've been doing and what I'm doing now, they weren't actually, it wasn't what I was meant to be doing to achieve that goal. For example, the physique that I wanted to have, I needed to build and I needed to grow and I needed to change shape. Whereas my actions were just about fat loss, you know, but that fat loss wasn't going to
build any muscle
and create the shape and the body that I wanted. It was through building that was going to happen, but it wasn't until I started competing that I actually became aware of that, you know.
I always say it to the boys as well, like if they're not tracking calories, it's almost like, it's always the metaphor of you've hired a bunch of builders to build your house, and they're on smoker and they're basically sitting down and smoking cigarettes. There's obviously no bricks to start the building, so they're just wasting time. As soon as I say that to them, they're like, oh yeah, it makes sense. It's an easy one.
Yeah. And like, we get it, like tracking's not for everybody. I don't always like to track. I don't always get enjoyment out of it, but I do it because of the goal that I'm trying to achieve. But it isn't for everybody. But I think, you know, if you're in the space where you feel like you can, it is good to track, to give yourself awareness of even just being like, shit, this is what's in this food. Wow, I thought it was healthy. Or, wow, no wonder why I've been gaining weight the last, 6 months, because I've been having this every single day and this. And then holy shit, my fats are way over. It just gives you so much more awareness about what's in food that you are having, that you are putting into your body. And you know, where you feel like you've been doing well, it might actually not be as good as what you think, or you know, things like that.
I think like some clients are never going to track, and that's okay. I think for us, it's like doing meal plans to help them track, to make sure they're seeing the results they see.
Yeah, or so they can see what a good day should look like of eating food.
Yeah, just to teach them a bit more and have them still be able to be at a consistent deficit with a plan that we make for them as well. Is always helpful.
The next one is like sleep, rest and recovery. This is definitely something that I've had to really really prioritize the most. Like, there's a lot of nights and that where I've not had such good sleep, and it's really impacted like my training and myself mentally as well, like my concentration and my focus and stuff. And like, your body changes and your body repairs itself when it is in sleep. And if you're not able to actually get rest and recovery, like, your body is not going to heal, your performance isn't going to be good, and all that hard work, all that hard work going into your food and into your training and your prepping and stuff like that, it's going to waste because you're not actually able to recover and repair itself. So rest and recovery is something that I really wish I knew when I first started out, of how important that is.
I think it's like these days it's becoming like people are becoming more aware of how important sleep is, like just for like mental health, mental clarity, emotion control, and
aging.
It's crazy how much that will change your life, not having enough sleep and that, especially if you want to get fit and healthy as well.
100%.
So please prioritize sleep. It's going to help your fat loss as well, less cortisol in your system.
Absolutely.
Like, there's so many benefits to nailing down for that one.
100%. The next one is a really big one. It's more focused on not so much like the destination on like getting there to your health and fitness goals. It's how you get there. So I wish I knew when I very first started out, like, you know, just having a better mindset towards myself and my goals and my journey. Like, instead of, you know, beating myself up or tearing myself down along the way, like, I really wish I knew how important it was to, you know, communicate good things to yourself so that you love your journey and you enjoy your journey, so that you, when you do get to your destination, you can stay there. Like, you can, as in, like, you've achieved this goal, fat loss goal, muscle goal, whatever it is that you've achieved. If you've built yourself up the whole way and made yourself feel good, like, you're going to enjoy the destination when you're there, and you're going to enjoy the results and what you've done, and you're going to stay there. So it's about, yes, getting to the journey, but enjoying it, so then you can keep the results, keep the goal, and move forward, versus being like, shit, I've just torn myself down. I've reached my destination, but fuck, what did it cost me? And how was I communicating to myself along the way?
I guess if the journey's like hell, like if it's very painful, once you get the result, you're going to go right back to where you were before.
Absolutely, 100%.
Because you haven't enjoyed the process. So it's always doing
and like, I get it. Like, any journey is going to be hard. Any journey is going to be a challenge. Any weight loss journey, comp journey, whatever it is, it's going to be challenging. But
there has to be some sort of enjoyment there.
There has to be ways in which that you can find enjoyment in the struggle, find enjoyment in, you know, the highs and the lows, and keep picking yourself back up. But if you're constantly kind of tearing yourself down, you're going to have a different outcome when you reach that goal, or you might not reach that goal.
Yeah. Probably the thing is, you're not going to reach the goal because you're not going to have the right experience, or a good experience.
100%. Yes, that's definitely something that I wish I knew when I very first started, for sure.
Yeah. I think that's really important though, like tying the journey to, like, there has to be, like, you're doing it with other people, or you're just feeling better about yourself mentally. Like, there has to be like wins along the way that you got to keep celebrating.
Yeah, 100%.
Just focusing on as much positivity as you can, because that's what's going to keep you going.
Yeah, it's going to keep you going, and it's going to help you maintain what you've just worked so hard for. So that is some things that we wish we knew when we very first started out in our health and fitness journey. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the next video.
See you guys next time.